Hello everybody, welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to show you some tips and tricks of Visual Studio Code. So we will learn some basic stuff and I hope that you are going to like them. So now the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to copy things faster. So you see right now, everybody knows that you use Ctrl+C to copy things and you press Ctrl+V to paste things. And there is an easier way to do it in Visual Studio Code. So all you have to do is you highlight something, alright, or you choose something. So let me start with this comment. And it's not necessarily, doesn't have to be a comment, but you can select anything. And then you press Alt, Shift, and arrow down. And as you notice, you'll just make copies of that element. So instead of pressing Ctrl+C and then pressing Ctrl+V, so yeah, it's kind of, slower to do it. But you press Alt Shift and then arrow up and down, and that will just paste things. So the second thing that I'm going to show you is how to move things up and down. So let's say that we want to move this div a little bit down. So you can just press Ctrl+X to cut it and then click somewhere else and paste it, but that's not what I'm going to do. So I'm going to press Alt. Alright, so press Alt or Option on Mac, and then you press arrow down. And as you notice, I'm moving that element inside of another element, and I can place it wherever I want. So this is how you do it, and this is the first trick that I wanted to show you. So now let's move to the next one. So now we will learn about how to edit two lines all together. So let's say that we want to, edit this div. All right. So let's say that we want to add this div. And this one. So you'll have to line them up first. You see now, if I press Alt, Ctrl, Shift, and arrow down, I'll increase the cursor. So you see now I have my cursor in both of those attributes. And I can say, for example, let's say that I want to add a class called red. So I have added the class red to both of them. So now we will talk about IntelliSense. And IntelliSense is really useful if you are using something like Python or another language or programming language rather than HTML and CSS. It works with those ones, but you'll have to install some extensions. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this JS file. So this is a JavaScript file that I have just created, so I'm just gonna get rid of everything. Right now I can say, for example, document dot. So you see when I add the dot, it shows me this list and everything is here. So this is the IntelliSense. So if you add a dot, if you click somewhere, so let me click here for example. So you see, if you don't see the IntelliSense there, you press Ctrl space to bring it back. So you see I press Ctrl space, and right after the dot it will show you all of these suggestions. And let's see, so I'm gonna go to, for example, document dot get element by ID. So get element by ID, and then let's say that we have an ID here, for example paragraph. Alright, so I can say dot again. So you see this is the IntelliSense that comes up, but sometimes it goes away, and if you want to bring it back, all you have to do is you press Ctrl space. It will bring the IntelliSense back. For a lot of languages, for a lot of programming languages, it has the IntelliSense, but I think for Python you'll have to look for an extension that has the IntelliSense, and for the PHP. And if you want to search for extensions, you go to this button right here, you click on it, and you can simply search for Python IntelliSense, for example. So there are a lot of extensions that you can download and use for Python, and you can search for the IntelliSense for other languages. But I think you don't need to install anything for JavaScript. It already knows. Okay, so I'm gonna close this now because we don't need it anymore, and we are going to close this page. So let me just collapse it actually. Alright, so now we already know that you can add like a paragraph. So let's say that I want to add a div here. So div, for example, then I can add, let's say, 3 more paragraphs. So P, and I can go to the next line and do the same thing, and it will take some time. But there is a shortcut to do it. And if you click on edit, all the way at the bottom it says Emmet expand abbreviation, and there is the word tab. So if you tab, it will expand the abbreviation, and I'll show you what this means. So now on line 116, for example, let's say that I want to add a div, so I can just type in the word div, and then inside of that div, let's say that we want to create something inside of that div, I can say shift and greater than sign. So to add the greater than sign, so when you add the greater than sign, which it means inside of that div, and you'll notice right here the Emmet abbreviation shows you that you are inside of that div. And inside of that div, let's say that I want to add 3 paragraphs, so I can say a letter P. So we have a paragraph there, and you see right here it shows you the Emmet abbreviation. So you see it has the div and the paragraphs inside of it. So we want to create 3 paragraphs, so I'm gonna press shift number 8. That will add the asterisk, and you see right here I can type in number 3 here, for example, and you see inside of the Emmet abbreviation shows it shows us what will be added. So now if I press tab on the keyboard, if I press tab, it will add a div with 3 paragraph elements. So let's do that, and boom, we have added it just like that. Alright everyone, so I think this is it for this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have a comment, please leave it in the comments below, and I'm rocking out of here. Bye bye.